Deal situation, because you've actually got to get to the high end and you got to have them at the right time. Although actually I'm looking at the list here, and some of the bigger bodies we see, like the 12k Charlotte Linlin, even like the 9k Charlotte Linlin, I'm not seeing them in this deck. So we're kind of tapping out at the 8k Katakuri. That is actually going to make things a little bit harder.
I did cast Purple Katakuri quite a lot, and every time that I did see the 10 cost Big Mom, I have never seen her come down, because you just are never hitting the 10 Dawn turn. You are always going -1 with some of your effects, pudding, leader ability, and so on and so on. So you're always around 8, 7, and yeah, just never on 10.
That would explain why it's not made it into the deck. While we are off here, we got Mikhail on the right with double Pudding Searcher to start off with. And then we have just found ourselves a Captain Capone Beige over on Leon's side of the board. And we are going to see a Perona, which is going to be coming down because, hey, why not get some search in? There is also a Kid and Killer, but not the Rush one from the EB set we're also familiar with. It's actually the green one from the starter deck, the lesser seen Kid and Killer.
And this Perona being able to search for slash characters is also just really, really good in this deck, because all the laws are slash. You play some Zoro, and so on and so on. Cavendish also slash. So
yep. Kid and Killer is both. That one of them is certainly slash. It counts as that. No, you're right. There are a bunch. Law comes in as well. I said all law, didn't you? My apologies. But yeah, there are a bunch of slash characters is the point. Now we've actually got a Charlotte Oven coming down here. And I think there's going to be a couple of cards in this matchup people are going to be reading, because it's a lot of cards that only see play in the purple Katakuri here. Like Charlotte Oven. So over to the law. Oh, and it is Cavendish time. That phenomenal green card, the one we've seen so many times on stream already this weekend. On play and on attack, you get to activate 2 of your Dom. And we see a 6k swing here with the Law Leader into the Charlotte Oven. And are we going to be able to counter out of it? We are going to be able to counter out of it with one of those vanilla Big Mom cards. I want to say Charlotte Daifuku.
Ooh, I didn't know the full name of it, so...
Leave it Charlotte Daifuku. Now we see a Law coming down. This is an older card we've seen before. It does what I like to think of as the classic Law thing, where a card gets bumped to your hand and then replaced with another card. In this case, it is Koshiro.
A small miscommunication and something brought up. The Law player took, I think by playing fast, he took the yellow bunny from his Perona. And the yellow bunny is not a slash character and is not it's not a slash character or green event, so...
It's definitely not a green event, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So that... Okay, so we're rewinding that then, getting rid of that. Looks like we are carrying on with the game. You do need to be very careful with these triggers. A lot of the time, these searches are very specific in what you're actually allowed to grab. So here we come with a Charlotte Perospero. I hope you've all been reading the Whole Cake Island art lately, because there will be a test going on during this game. This is once per turn, trash a card from your hand. You choose a cost, reveal a card from the top of your opponent's deck, and if you got the cost correct, draw a card and add an active Don card. But of course, you got the combo with your leader skill that lets you look at the top card of your opponent's deck. And there are a few of these Big Mum Pirates that do this, and essentially the Katakuri leader can make sure you hit every single time with these kind of events, these kind of effects. Then we see Charlotte and Nana coming down. If you have a purple character that's Big Mum other than Charlotte and Nana, you gain blocker. And yeah, you've got like 4, you're good. Only a little blocker, but he'll get the job done. Okay, we see another Perona coming down here. Let's be careful what we grab off it.
We are able to take a law.
Does look like we are headed for that. Is that a law?
That's a 2K counter, not Basil, X-Drake.
Oh, it is an X-Drake, thank you. I saw the hand guards. That was what was throwing me off. It was the hand guards of X-Drake's sword. Oh, and apparently that Perona wasn't enough. Now we'd better get another Perona. I'll tell you what, having all these wonderful alternate arts, we sometimes get 4 or 5 different versions of the same card. And it's lovely, and it's fun, and it makes our binders look good. But sometimes having too many versions of the same card makes casting the game a little bit more difficult. And I'm just going to leave it there. Now, we are countering out of the Cavendish swing here. So, no harm, no foul. Swing came down. That was a Strusen we used for the counter there.
Quick resetting.
Okay, so we are just essentially, there was that miscommunication earlier in terms of what was allowed to be grabbed off of that search. And essentially, the wrong card is in hand and things haven't been put back exactly like they should have been. So the judges at the table are going to sort that out. And when all the cards are back where they're supposed to be, we can get back to the game and actually get back to the whole casting malarkey. So
yeah, I think the fix will be done, well, quite easily, I would say. So the option was to put the badge to the bottom of the deck, but it was the bunny that should have been put to the bottom of the deck. So I think the judge can verify the deck quite easily. The player can't, of course, otherwise they know what they will draw. So they will put the bunny instead of the bitch on bottom of the deck.
Yes, because the way it went was that the Kid and Killer went and got the Capone Beige, which is allowed, but then the Perona went and got the Bonnie, which is not allowed. So it's the Bonnie, which is the card that was supposed to be removed and popped back to the bottom of the deck. But it was the Beige, and it was just... It's a whole thing. And look, one thing to bear in mind, we're in round 9 here. So firstly, players have been here all day. They've done 8 rounds and they're in round 9. Secondly, these are players who, you know, if they're 8-0, they're probably in top cut, but they're not locked in top cut. This is the game where if they win, they're locked, but also there's going to be a bunch of 8-2s in cut. You don't want to be an 8-2 in cut. You want to be a 9-1 or a 10-0. You want to have that choice of going first or second as often as you can in top cut. These games mean a lot. They are incredibly important. So it just... These things happen. Plus, if you've not played on stream, I assure you, playing on stream is really stressful.
Definitely. Especially a lot of people are watching, people are looking at your game, so you don't want to make a lot of mistakes because, yeah, people will... if you make very big mistakes, people will remember it somehow for the rest of their lives. However...
No pressure.
If you are 8-0, you're doing fine. You're probably into top cut. Like the chances are really low that you won't be in the top cut as well. So yeah, they are setting up again, fixing what needs to be fixed, and then we will go back to a green-yellow law at 8-0. So really nice to see a very good deck. And a very skillful deck, the green-yellow law, against purple Katakuri. A purple Katakuri, since PRBO2, it's coming back every single tournament, at least one, making it to the top cut. So...
I mean, if it's that good, if it keeps getting a top cut, we could see that coming back in again. And certainly, Purple Katakuri is another one of those where you probably haven't tested against it very much. Like, it is not high on your list of decks that you think are going to end up being very good. It is very much a fringe deck. Now, it's 8-0, and it should be in top cut tomorrow. Make no mistake, this is on the fringier side. And then it's not just that you've not tested against it, but whereas, like, you know, we say the green-yellow law, it might, you know, it's a deck that comes up a bit less often, but like 90% of the cards in that deck you see in other decks. It is a mishmash of cards from other decks. The Katakuri isn't. The Katakuri is a very specific kind of deck, and sure, you'll see things like Uso Hachi, for instance. And, you know, the big 8-cost Katakuri is absolutely a card which we're going to see in a whole bunch of decks. And maybe the Charlotte Puddin, the 3-cost Puddin. But the majority of this Katakuri deck is very much, you know, it's a self-contained, a tribal deck. It is a bunch of purple Big Mum Pirates that only work in a purple Big Mum Pirates deck. Nobody's playing Charlotte Puddin, as we talked about earlier. So that leads this Katakuri deck. It's a deck where, if you're not that familiar, it's going to be an awkward deck to play against. And then, of course, that raises the stress level, and that's how mistakes can happen.
Yeah, Purple Katakuri. Thanks to PRBO2, it had like a lot of love from the PRBO2 set. Thanks to that 7-cost pudding, that card is just amazing.
So good.
Draw 2 and being able to play out an 8-cost Katakuri for free is just insane. And yeah, that's why the deck is doing great.
Well, it looks like we are heading back into the game now, are we? Both players are sitting around, and one thing to kind of bear in mind here is that the later you get into a tournament, the better you're doing, the more is expected of the players. You know, what happens in round 9 of a regional when you're 8-0, the expectation is a bit different to, say, round 1 in your local store tournament. So that is borne in mind with the judges. When you get high up in these regionals, we do expect a higher level of care and play from the players, and that sometimes can up the penalties as we go. But it looks like we are back. The timer has been fixed. If there's anything else you need to know, we will let you know. For now, we're playing down a law. We are whacking a Don on our law leader. And it looks like, yeah, we're turning the top card of our life face up, which is good, because if it's a supernova, the cost of 5 or less, you can play it.
And looking at the board, it looks really good for the law side. Having a very wide board of very good cards already.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. There's not many searches sitting out there. Those are cards which are going to keep providing you value over the next few turns. So, looks like we are paying 1 here. Are we adding a Don? We're adding a Don onto that law. We're not adding a Don onto the law. Well, we are going and blocking with the Charlotte and Nana, and that is going to be going away.
Yep.
And passing over to Mikhail.
Yeah, look at this board. We have 3 6k bodies and 9k law in play. And as Katakuri, you actually have, well, hard to say, but nothing. You have a 5k, a 7k, and then, but yeah, this will be really hard for the Katakuri to come back from. We are actually gonna take our last life, going to 0.
So all we need is 1 attack to go through. Mikhail, you know, does not have the board that Leon has, just to be clear, not even close, but has managed to just get a few little attacks kind of popping through over the first few turns. Popped him down to 0 life, and now the question is, can we get 1 more attack through? So we are using the leader skill, having a quick look. Getting Don back. There's Charlotte Perospero going off there.
We did counter a 6k with Demon Aura, so I'm really curious, like, is the hand filled with non-counters, or...
Well, we've just blocked the Perispero with the Bonnie, so if the hand is that bad, we don't have any more swings, though. The Charlotte Pudding are searchers. They've got no real bulk to them. The big Katakuri was played this turn, so no rush, so no attack yet. So we are going back over to Leon, but even though Leon's board looks way better than Mikhail's, it is kind of starting to look like, even though it's unfavored, and even though their board hasn't been looking that good for most of the game, have they managed to just kind of poke away and get incredibly close to victory here?
Yeah, I do wonder why we took our last live and that we blocked with our Bonnie. Like, I would just wanted to mention, are we going for an 8-cost kit?
Yes, we are.
And it seems like we are, and that's a big problem for Katakuri. That's a really tough. Well, basically, as said quite some times already, this 8-cost kit now is well, you have an 8k leader from the law side.
Yeah, and this Charlotte Katakuri is the biggest thing on the board now for Mikhail. It's the biggest thing we're going to be able to get. So that is going to be hard to get rid of. We saw the swing from Law take a life from Leon.
Yep, doing his leader ability. Picking up the
Absolutely.
Perona, can't play anything from live, of course.
We see the Capone Beige coming down.
And yeah, you have like
Another
10 cards
blocker.
in hand to protect your kit. You have 2 blockers. And from this point on, I don't see how Katakuri can deal with this. That's the big issue. This 8-cost, I guess that's the main thing for being a tier 1, 2, or 3 deck. If your deck is instantly locked out by 1 card, it's so painful.
It's not ideal. So we see a swing with Charlotte Perispero, but that's easily countered away by Leon. That is not going to stick. We're now seeing a 7k swing with the leader.
Yeah, leader ability, making it an 8k.
Yeah. But it's
getting the
blocked by the
plus
Capone.
There's still a lot of cards to go, and the problem is the upcoming turn you are at 2 life, and they have Cavendish, Law, 2 Laws, and the 8-cost kit to come for your lives as well. So
A lot of big swings coming, and you don't really have any blockers out right now either, so you're not playing keep away like you'd like. And I think you've made the point in previous games, you made it nicely here again, Ruben, is that kid has come down and it has locked down the game. And that's why you don't mind taking your life, because actually, if you know your opponent can't get that last attack through, you want to give up your life, so you've got more cards in hand and more options for protecting your kids. Now we see a 10k swing with the Charlotte Katakuri, desperately trying to get over that Law, assuming that kid, but it's never going to work, so the blocker Law there, so you just go, well, fine, guess I'll just block.
easy. Another Perispero effect, and here we go. There's still a lot of cards in hand for the green-yellow Law.
And 4 potential swings coming out here, all of which can get quite chunky against 2 life. You need 3 swings to get through to win the game. You've got 4 potential, but you don't need to win it this turn. If you can keep that kid there, you got as many turns as you like. We are swinging with a kid and putting the Don on, so that is actually going to go through, which is maybe not the best sign. Now we see that big 8-cost Eustace Captain Kid, I believe. Is that what we're seeing here?
Yeah, but we have 1, so I think he is quite happy already. Picking up a Law, because Law is a supernova, so he can actually play it as well if he wants to, and pick up the Luffy again, because he can build a wall around this kit, and that was the big issue of this matchup. They can't do anything about the wall, I would say, to name it like that. So a 7k swing, that's quite an easy block with the Katakuri if he wants to. However, you are only at 1 life, and they still have a swing from Cavendish and the Law.
Which is, shall we say, not ideal. You do have that 1 blocker with a Katakuri. Had Luffy come down to give a little bit of help, but frankly, it's just that kid. That is the big issue. If you can't get over the kid, sooner or later, Leon is going to wear you down. What you need is just one big swing, but you cannot just put all of your Don and do that one big swing because your opponent's got that kid. We've now got another blocker Law that's come down, which is going to make things even more awkward.
And
one
do you
more
know
thing to get through.
The longest card name in One Piece is in the hand from Michael. It's a counter event. Do you know it?
Oh, I just assumed it was a demon or a 9 sword.
No, this one is longer.
Oh, yes, it's the 1-cost Katakuri. No, I don't know it, is the honest answer. I've just remembered which one it is, but there's no way I know the name.
I googled it as well, but it's when two men are fighting, the last thing I need is some half-hearted assistance. So that's a very long card name, and it's in hand. It's
Too
plus
long a card
5.
name.
It's plus 5, so that's amazing.
And here we go, coming down with that plus 5. Oh my goodness, that is such a ridiculous card name. But I say that with love, it's fantastic. But now Capone Beige comes down again, and it really feels like Leon is just kind of showing off now. There's too many blockers. And then when you get through the blockers, then you got to get through the kid, and all of that needs to be done before you can actually go after the leader. And there's not the event cast to get rid of these characters. There's not the big bodies to throw at the wall of blockers over and over again. Mikhail putting up a good fight here, but that kid has not really been threatened yet.
That Oven being really good, getting rid of that Beige as well. I wonder if we had to play out that Beige, if we knew that Oven can do this, because resting this card, you can reveal the top card of your opponent's deck and KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. So maybe he should not have played that Beige here. Because he knew
feel
that
like it was
Oven can just pop it.
Yeah, and that is exactly what happened. The Oven just came out and got rid of it immediately. So there is one blocker down. He's still got the Law blocker, and then you got the kid, and then you can actually try and swing at the life to win the game. And you got all of that to do with one life, giving you that minimal protection. Here is Free Dawn onto the Charlotte Perez Sparrow, swinging shockingly into the kid. But now we just counter out of it. Don't even need to block at this point. It is just going to be a counter. Now we're going to see we're going to get one Dawn on the Perez Sparrow, it looks like. So we can have another little swing here for 8k. But that's not going to go through either. We have another counter. And it honestly just feels at this point like Mikhail is running into a brick wall.
Oh, and you just saw Leon turning the restand Law. That is like the card you don't want to see next turn. You just know as the Katakuri that it's on top of the Law deck right now. So having access to that restand Law, I don't see how Katakuri can survive this turn. But maybe with some... We have the Judgment. But yeah, they can just swing with another card. Ooh.
Well, we got Dawn open. We got plenty of swings. We got one life. There is one blocker there in the form of that big Charlotte Katakuri. But right now, it looks like we're swinging with a Law at this point. Oh, Mikhail there's not having a good time at the moment. Taking that last life into hand. And now it looks like this is where the game is going to be ending. We've got Dawn onto the kid. And there's plenty of Dawn still available there, Rupert.
Especially because of Cavendish restanding Dawn as well. So that reset Law in hand basically cost only 3.
Very cheap. The 5 costs that restands a 5 cost Heart Pirate, but you don't really need to worry too much about it because, like you say, it's not actually a 5 cost Supernova or Heart Pirate, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
You got 9 non-available, it looks like, for the moment. But if you pay any of them, you can get 2 of them back. It looks like we're using a leader skill here.
Making our leader a 6k.
Which is, that's important.
This battle. So Can counter this out.
Have we got anything else? Anything Mikhail can do to last through this turn? We only need one more swing getting through here. We do have that restand law in hand, as you put it. The one that lets you just, well, restand one of your Heart Pirates or your Supernovas from right back in starter deck 02, which actually just about predates OP01. Here we go with a 7k leader swing. Has Mikhail got anything? Looks like we have got an event of some description. We're resting some Don. Oh, there are some events. Okay, so Judgment of Hell is going to save here. So we're still alive for now.
Now you need to -3 the correct one, because a Cavendish that restands activates 2 Dawn again. It's not a once per turn effect.
Nope. It is the Cavendish you have gone for. That's very nice here. And like you say, because that Cavendish could well be swinging again. Getting a double dip of its ability. So we're still alive. Mikhail does not look like...
work with.
It does not look like he's having a good time. It seems like a player who knows that this game is unfortunately getting out of hand a bit too quickly. We've got 11 minutes left on the clock. I don't think we're going to need them here. What's happened with his 2 Don from Leon?
If we had like another counter event, or at least just counters in general in hand for the purple Katakuri, I think he could win this turn, but we just saw the hand as at least 2 cards without counter, and I think his hand is like 2 cards. So whatever Leon decides to do, he will get there, unless Leon is scared to die and will play blockers to protect his 8-cost kit. But yeah, with only 2 cards in hand, I don't think he will play safe. It's impossible to play safe from his side. So he needs to go for it.
Absolutely does need to go for it at this point. I agree with you there. You only need to get 1 attack through. You've got a bunch of Don that are already open. You've got your restand law that can come down. So it just feels like, you know, the question here is, where do you put your Don? How powerful do you make your characters? Who's swinging for how much? And then from there, you should be in a much better position. Now, we've got the Charlotte Oven. Rested down there. Now we see
the restand law.
Not there yet. You got 2 cards in hand from Mikhail. That is confirmed now. We just saw that come down. Haven't found a way to victory yet. This is the other thing, you know, we see Leon thinking really hard about this. This is a point in the game where if you made the wrong decision, you put a Don in the wrong place, that can be the difference between winning and losing the game.
So he can swing double 6 if he wants to?
We've still got a swing coming from the other. Now, I believe, are we in the middle of a swing here? We've still got 1 more law to swing.
Yep. But he can restand.
Yes, exactly. And we are restanding here. Here is the Don, and there we go. Mikhail showing that actually there was nothing in the hand that was going to do it, and that means that Leon takes it, goes to 9-0 with green-yellow law.